Hey, Rally Jester here, back with another episode of Addressing the New Gun People. Okay, series in where I talk to those of you who maybe haven't always been pro-gun or pro-2A and are now considering that, or maybe you're just curious, right? In any case, on this series, I talk about one topic per episode, whatever that may be. I go into it. I address some, common misconceptions among people who are maybe anti-gun or maybe just not really in the know at all, right? So, in any case, we're going to get right into today's topic, which is going to be, addressing the misconception that some people have, thinking that all gun people or 2A people are just terrible, bad people, right? And they aren't, okay? And we're going to get into all that today, right now. Okay, this is a loaded topic. I do try to keep these episodes short, so obviously I'm not going to get to everything. I'm just going to hit on a few big talking points around this topic. So, if you're a Second Amendment person, feel free to get in the comments with any good points that I may have missed, okay? Those who aren't Second Amendment people, you check the comments if maybe you'll see something down there that interests you, okay? So, like I said, pretty big topic. The question is basically, are all gun people bad people, right? Well, the short answer is no, absolutely not. And I'll get into why, okay? Now, first, I'm going to say, okay, first of all, Second Amendment community, gun community. In this video, I'm going to be using those interchangeably. There is a difference. In some contexts, that difference matters. In this context, no, I'm going to use them interchangeably. Probably just going to be saying the Second Amendment community. All right. Now, in the Second Amendment community, yes, there are a small handful of individuals with bad intentions, just whatnot, okay? There are a small handful of bad individuals who claim to be in the Second Amendment community, all right? Yes, okay? I'm not talking about them in this video. I'm talking about the vast majority of people in the Second Amendment community, all right? And, to suggest, those people out there who suggest that the whole Second Amendment community, should be punished or, thought of as such just based off of this small handful of actually bad individuals. That's just not a good point at all, because the same could be said for any community, okay? Any community of people that you could mention ever, there's going to be a handful of bad individuals in that community, bad apples in the bunch, so to speak, right? So in my opinion, when it comes to the Second Amendment community or any community, that's just not an argument really worth mentioning, in my opinion. So, just addressing that real quick, getting that out of the way. All right. Now, moving through this topic, right? You might wonder, why do so many people think that 2A people, Second Amendment people, why do so many people think that they're bad, right? Because a lot of people do think that. Okay, so how does it spread, basically, right? What it is, just to name a few, there's obviously many things, but to name a couple big ones, right? Mainstream media. The media, these news outlets and whatnot, they love to talk about anything and everything bad that happens with a firearm. But they don't seem to talk about good things that happen with firearms or good things that people from the Second Amendment community may do. They don't talk about none of that. They just talk about the bad things that happen with firearms. That right there gives the misconception, right, that it's propaganda is what it is. But it gives the appearance that only, people with guns only do bad things. It gives that false appearance, right? So from the media, that's the biggest one, I think, anyway, in my opinion. Another big one is that, a lot of people who are just anti-gun, they don't want individuals to have firearms. A lot of these people happen to be celebrities. I'm not going to get into why that may or may not be, but, a lot of these people are celebrities, okay? So they're up on their Twitter, their Instagram, their TikTok, whatever it may be. They're saying, they're talking about gun people or whatever. They're calling us terrible things, right? Just to name an example, right? We get called domestic terrorists, which is horrible, right? And not true at all. But when these celebrities get up there and say things along the lines of that, well, of course, their impressionable fans, they take that and run with it. And that just is what it is to them. So, anti-gunners on social media is another big area in where these misconceptions, this propaganda is spread, all right? So that's just to name a couple areas in how this spreads around and why some people do think that all Second Amendment people are bad people. Okay, now, I've addressed why, a couple reasons as to why some people think that. I talked about the fact that, if there are some bad apples in the community, but same can be said for any community ever. Now, getting into the final talking point, which is the vast majority of 2A people, okay, are great people, all right? You're not going to meet a nicer, better person than somebody from the Second Amendment community in almost any scenario, right? We're very good people. That's just how it is, right? When there's people out there calling us, just suggesting or thinking that we're hateful, violent, terrible individuals, it's just not true. It's simply propaganda. From some people, it's propaganda. From others, it's misinformation. They've been misinformed from having been fed propaganda. It's just not the case, right? Second Amendment people are great people, okay? These, Second Amendment people are going to be the first person to help out another person in a bad situation, whatever it may be. Very good people in this community. That's the takeaway. All this other stuff that you hear and whatnot in the media, it's not true at all, okay? So that's really, really it. Really all I wanted to say on this is a couple of big points around this topic, okay? If you fall into the boat of whom this series is intended for, okay, somebody who isn't necessarily or hasn't necessarily always been pro-gun, or maybe you've even been anti-gun, but now you're considering getting into the Second Amendment, or maybe you're just curious. If you fall into that boat, I hope I gave you something to think about, something to consider. And I hope if you hate Second Amendment people, I hope you reconsider. It's not really warranted. And if you are a Second Amendment person already, let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me, anything else you may think should be said in the comments. With all that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Goodbye.